The 2017 Honda Civic Hatchback, driven. The Honda Civic has long been a go-to car for practicality and honest transportation. Sure, there have been several hyped models with plenty of horsepower and fun, but the vast majority of Civics are built to handle the daily grind. Say what you will, but there's merit in that endeavor. Well, Honda knew its customers needed something outstandingly practical, but mixed with some flair and excitement, sort of a witch's brew of pragmatic and provocative. Enter the 2017 Honda Civic Hatchback. The hatchback joins the Civic lineup for 2017, 2 years after the 10th generation debuted for 2015. It shares the spotlight with the popular Civic Sedan and fun-loving Civic Coupe. The trio now gives customers a choice in body style, while still delivering that Civic personality. All three ride on the same platform and share powertrain options. Since the Civic Hatchback is new, Honda sent an example to test for a week for evaluations. Our tester was the XL Navi trim and came equipped with Honda Sensing. Otherwise, the car had no options, giving a full taste of the Civic Hatch's second most expensive trim. Even still, the as-tested price only rang up $27,175. That's not bad for a vehicle with crossover-like interior room, leather seats, tons of in-dash tech, all the latest active safety features, and a turbocharged engine that averages 42 mpg on the highway. Colorus impressed. So how did the 2017 Civic Hatchback do? Keep reading to find out. Continue reading for more information. Video review. Exterior. The front is, well, aggressive. You can tell Honda designers gave the car some Type R influences, despite it coming out after the Civic Hatchback. It almost has a boy racerish look to it, which in person, isn't bad. The aggressive lower fascia has a sort of angry face, with fog lights at either end. A large air intake down low pulls air for cooling. Those side panels do nothing functional, however. The upper grille is certainly different from anything outside Honda, and flows nicely into the headlights. Around the side, the 18-inch wheels have an interesting design reminiscent of windmills or flying ninja stars. The side profile is unmistakably hatchback, with the roofline sloping gradually towards the license plate. The C-pillars are thick but never hindered outward visibility. No doubt the big rear window and blind spot monitoring system helps with that. Up top, the shark fin antenna mixes well with the mild spoiler over the rear glass, helping carry that racer theme throughout the exterior. The Civic Hatch wears a bold design with plenty to love, that is, if you like aggressive cars dripping with character. Things get even more exciting in the back. More faux vents bring an aggressive feel to the bumper, while hard creases and sharp angles are everywhere. There's even a chin splitter-like black piece running the width of the car. But the boldest aspect the Civic Hatchback's rear are the taillights and connecting spoiler. The C-shaped lights add dimension to the car, while the spoiler helps hide the rear wiper blade and third brake light. The spoiler is visible in the rearview mirror, but doesn't impede vision. The backup camera eliminates any blind spots when reversing. All told, the Civic Hatch wears a bold design with plenty to love, that is, if you like aggressive cars dripping with character. Exterior dimensions. The competition's exterior. Perhaps the most threatening newcomer is Chevy's 2017 Cruze hatchback. Based on the new 2016 Cruze sedan, the hatchback gets all the same goodies as the four-door, but adds a bunch of interior cargo space, along with a fairly youthful and energetic exterior design. True, the Cruze hatch doesn't change from the B-pillars forward, but the more sporty nose of the second-generation Cruze is helped by the flared rear end. The athletic design is further helped by the optional RS package. The Cruze Hatch RS features cosmetic upgrades like fog lights, ground effects, a rear spoiler, and larger wheels measuring 18 inches. When optioned, the Cruze Hatch RS gives the Civic Hatch a run for its money in aggressive design. Exterior dimensions. Interior. The aggressive design continues into the interior. Sharp lines and crisp angles permeate each panel. The only curves are found around the gear shifter, the radio knobs, the tachometer, and of course, the steering wheel. That's definitely not a bad thing, as the angles work well for the Civic. Behind the wheel, the driver gets three main gauges: coolant temperature, fuel level, and the large center TFT display surrounded by the full sweep tachometer. The speedometer is digital and stationary inside the display, regardless of what information is shown on the screen below. Turbo boost, radio info, tire pressure, fuel economy, and other vehicle information are easily accessible on the display. The aggressive design continues into the interior. Sharp lines and crisp angles permeate each panel. The infotainment system typical Honda, offering intuitive controls on the 7-inch touchscreen. The layout can be a bit overwhelming at first, but is easily learned. Navigation, SiriusXM satellite radio with DVR-like recording, and a handful of third-party applications make the system even handier. These include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The biggest complaint is the lack of a volume knob. Rather, Honda uses a touch-sensitive slider that tries unsuccessfully to reinvent the wheel. Thankfully, steering wheel controls give the driver a second option for adjusting volume. HVAC controls are well designed, for the most part. The dual-zone system uses easy-to-use knobs, and the defrost and recirculation options are within easy reach. Too bad Honda buried the fan speed control under the climate button, adding another step to adjusting the fan. Of course, there is an automatic climate function, but I've never been a fan of those. My car also came with toasty, 3-position heated front seats. Honda's design for the center console raised eyebrows when it first arrived. It seemed rather dumbly designed and built as an afterthought. However, the longer we used them, the more ingenious the design became. The cup holders slide fore and aft, can be removed, and offer a third cup holder deep within the center console for super tall drinks. My wife's huge Starbucks cup loved this spot. The padded armrest slides to accommodate the cup holders, plus opens up for access to storage space. The interior is smartly designed with plenty of places to store everyday items. And speaking of storage space, the Civic Hatchback is packed with places to store stuff. The rear cargo area offers 25.7 cubic feet of area. That's more than enough for a week's worth of groceries. Fold the 60/40 split bench, and the hatchback opens up to 46.2 cubic feet of storage. That's more than some crossovers on the market today. A clever, scroll-type cargo cover neatly retracts out of the way when storing larger items. Overall, the interior is smartly designed with plenty of places to store everyday items. There is plenty of room for cargo, and most importantly, people. My 5-year-old daughter's booster seat fit just fine in the back seat and she had no issues with using the seatbelt herself. Interior dimensions. The competition's interior. Like the exterior, the Chevy Cruze hatch's interior is a carbon copy of the Cruze sedan ahead of the B-pillar. Again, that's not a bad thing since the Cruze has a feature-rich cabin with the base-level Chevy MyLink infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a driver information screen, plenty of storage cubbies, and optional leather seats. The Civics dash does have a larger driver information center and its infotainment system's UI is a bit flashier. But perhaps the Cruze hatch's biggest downfall is its sloping roofline. While the design does add form, the function it replaced is valuable cargo room. Still, the Cruze hatch offers more cargo room than the Ford Focus and Mazda 3 hatch. The Chevy lags behind the Volkswagen Golf, however. Behind the second row, the Cruze hatch boasts 23 cubic feet of space. Fold the 60/40 split bench flat, and the room grows to 47 cubic feet. Interior dimensions. Drivetrain. Under the hood is Honda's new 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Honda offers two tunes for this engine in the Civic. The range-topping Sport and Sport Touring modes make 180 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque, while the LX, X, and XL trims make 174 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque. My tester being in the less sporty category meant it came with the standard tune, along with the continuously variable transmission. Of course, front-wheel drive is the only way Honda makes the Civic. Honda offers two tunes for this engine in the Civic. The range-topping Sport and Sport Touring modes make 180 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque, while the LX, X, and XL trims make 174 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque. The engine might seem woefully underpowered on paper, but on the road, the little Turbo 4 does a great job at motivating the 3,000-pound hatchback. CVTs aren't a favorite transmission for enthusiasts, but Honda has worked a miracle with this gearbox. Its seamless flow of power isn't hindered by rubber banding or other ill attributes, either. What the CVT does do, however, is help the Civic earn an impressive 32 mpg city, 42 mpg highway, and 36 mpg combined. During my week of testing, I averaged 34 mpg. And interestingly enough, the Civic hatch doesn't punish you for hypermilling. The drive is still somehow entertaining. Drivetrain specifications. The competition's drivetrain. The Chevy Cruze hatchback can be had with one of two engines, the standard 1.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder or the new 1.6-liter 4-cylinder turbodiesel.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.